Morning, peeps. I'm back. Now, listen, we've got a lot to talk about today. There's a lot going on. We've got this huge double game week coming up, then we're followed by a blank, and if you're like me, you've got Trent and you're in this shit, because I think non-owners don't realise quite what an impact this injury to Trent has had on people that do actually own him. It's been huge, made a massive difference. 'Cause it's a very fine line this game week. Everything has to be meticulously planned to make it right in game week 26. And this injury to Trent is a bit of a broadside. It's a disaster, peeps, absolute disaster. But I'm only just back from the West Coast, so I haven't had much time to sort it out. I actually went over there to run a half marathon, a Buller half marathon. Done my back in playing golf before I went and decided I'd just enter for 10k, So there I am, Saturday morning, lined up at the start line of the 10k, looking around me. And I thought, look at the state of these people, I was 210 of us, and most of the proper runners were doing the half marathon and the marathon. So I'm doing the 10k with the good people of Westport, a lot of them probably hadn't even run 10k before, they're a funny bunch over there, they live on sausage rolls and spates, they're giving it that all day with spates, and then like the marathon day is like the big day for the town in the whole year, so we all come out and support it. And a lot of them decided they were going to do this 10k, a lot of people, casuals, decide they're going to play FPL, they're a bit like casuals in FPL. Anyway, peeps, gun goes off, I'm off like a rocket, straight out the traps. It's on a narrow trail, got swing bridges to go across and stuff. I didn't want to get stuck behind all these people, because the slow ones always try and start at the front, and their main mission is just to get in your way, So I didn't want any of that, so I shot out the front. And after a couple of K, I'm thinking, where is everybody? Why is nobody overtaking me? And it carried on like this, I've done pretty good, but I ended up coming 11th out of 210 people. I couldn't believe it, peeps, Most of them are half my age, but they're miles back. Hopeless, that. I don't know if you've ever watched, these horror movies that are out in the woods where you get these people with their chainsaws and that, like the yokels that end up being cannibals and that. Well, that's what they're like on the West Coast, you know what I mean? So I was kind of running against these people, so you don't want them catching you up. So I'm going pretty quick, and they were miles back, Pete, miles back, But like I said, they're a bit odd out there, but 11th out of 210. Made my week, peeps, made my week. I never finish that high up. I'm normally about in the top 30%, not the top 5%. So very happy, peeps, very happy. Anyway, we'll crack on. Like I said, we've got a lot to talk about. We've got to talk about why I'm going to have to stay up on Saturday night when I should be in bed asleep, and I'm going to have to stay up looking at stupid things on Twitter, like on the seedier side of Twitter, trying to find out if Salah's playing, if Trent's playing, and all that type of thing, So if you can't beat them, I'm going to have to bloody join them this week, and it doesn't feel good, peeps. I feel a bit dirty just having to go where all the leaks are, and don't want to go there, peeps, but we will. Anyway, 81 points. Not bad. Gabriel, Palmer, Saka, Haaland captain, just like a lot of people. Gross on the bench. Have to bench somebody. You've got all those players, natural one. You're going to get points on your bench a lot of times now when you've got high team value. But as for people that bench Saka, get in front of the mirror, go like this with your hair and go, ch. Give yourselves a slap. Because to be honest, if you're benching Saka, I mean, what are you doing really? Come on, peeps. Unless you've got Haaland playing in all 7 of your attacking roles, you're not going to bench Saka, are you? Not really. I mean, what are you doing? And then you call it bad luck. Come on, peeps, you're better than this. Right, so that's my team anyway. 81 points. Big talking point is Trent. Now, this is a disaster, absolute disaster. It's like I said, fine margins this week, fine margins. So we'll get back on the transfer page of the FPL.team plan. This is my team. And Trent has really done in all my planning. You know, you can have all these great planning tools like this, but when someone like Trent gets injured, it throws them all into disarray. You know, because I just had just the right amount of transfers to get a full team out for next week. He's my only Liverpool coverage. I was going to add Jota for Richarlison this week. But unfortunately now for Trent, we don't know what he's doing. We don't know if he's injured. We don't know if he's going to miss one game, no games, or two games. He wasn't seen in training, so we suspect he's not going to be playing against Brentford at least. Now that's a problem. We also don't know about Salah. There's a lot of talk about Salah in training, but he's only doing non-contact training. So it's a lot different doing non-contact training to crashing together and tackling and all that type of thing that people do in a football match. So it's a world apart. So if he's not doing that yet, I doubt he will be playing. The trouble is, peeps, the only way I'm going to know if he's playing or not is by getting up on Saturday. Well, luckily I'm playing in a poker tournament anyway, so I will be awake. But I'm going to have to go onto Twitter at like midnight or whatever, in the seedier side of Twitter, finding out what all these leakers are up to, the pretend leakers, the ones who make out they know but don't know, the official leak, you know what I mean. It's just an absolute shambles, isn't it? You're going to have all these people trying to find everything out, panicking, and you don't need it, you know. It's ridiculous, isn't it? So what they need to do, they need to move the deadline to the start of the kickoff, you know, like they do in fan team. I don't mind getting up for fan team. I can get up an hour before the game, go to the Sporting Life, look at the official team, and then decide who I'm going to pick. I don't have to go to the seedier sides of Twitter for a couple of hours, you know. I'm looking at awful deadline streams, just trying to find out and separate fact from fiction. You know, it's like drugs, isn't it? You know, legalize drugs. You cut out all those shady dealers and criminals at the seedier side of it all. And it's the same with FPL. If we moved it to deadline, you could get rid of all those horrible little people with their leaks and all wanting interactions, this, that and the other, you know, selling their clubs down the river by passing on information and that. It's all bad, seedy. We don't want it. We don't like it. Move the deadline to the start of the game week. That's all you got to do, you know, make it fair. It's still not very good for people in time zones like my own, but I don't mind setting my alarm, getting up and looking at something like the Sporting Life, getting the official team sheet and making a transfer, going back to sleep. I can handle that. What I can't handle is getting up for a couple of hours, having to interact with all these slimy little characters on Twitter, and it's a nightmare. But this week, unfortunately, I'm going to have to do that. And that's what FPL's become. You know, I think it was FPL General the other day. He said that what he really used to love about FPL was sitting down, making his transfers on a Friday, sitting back, you know, you can relax, have a nice drink, knowing you've done your work, and then you can just sit back at the weekend and enjoy the games. You know, it's not like that anymore. You know, you've got to be up, you've got to be this, you've got to spend your whole blooming Saturday lunchtime or Saturday afternoon glued to your phones or glued to your computer. You know, you could be at a wedding, you could be doing all sorts of things. And now you've got to spend them on FPL. You know, it's like these people in the middle of the night. You're in bed with the wife, 3 o'clock in the morning. Are you really going to wake up, stagger around in the dark, put Twitter on, spend an hour or so trying to work out which leaks are real, which ones are false? It's just bullshit, absolute bullshit. And it's ruining the game. You know, you've got this week, you've got people benching Walker, who initially had him starting. They get the information, they bench him, and they get 12 points for Saliba. You know, great, well done, well done. You know, meanwhile, other people in other time zones or whatever are asleep and missing it all. You know, it's just not right. And but that's what FPL is now. You know, someone said if you want to win, that's what you've got to do. You know, so I don't have to like it, but I'm going to have to get up and do that this weekend because Salah, Trent, it's just too important. You know, so my battery's going on my computer. I'm going to have to get a move on. You know, this is annoying, peeps. But basically, I've got 2 plans. Trent out to get Salah in, and Richarlison out to get Salah in, and maybe Maguire or Botman or some other 4.5 million defender that looks good going forward. Or if nothing happens with Salah, just get Jota in and pay his Stupinian if Trent doesn't start, or maybe because I can't get another Man City defender. The only one I would get would be Ake. Now we'll have a quick look at the other part of this site because, like I said, my battery's going. I've only just realised I'm not plugged in. I could run off and get the plug. Should I run off and get the plug? Should I? Or should I risk it? How much battery I got left? 90%. We'll risk it, peeps. We'll risk it. Right, so here is on this same thing here, we've got the most transferred in templates. So we'll have a look at a few of these and separate the wheat from the chaff. Now, Doherty and Reguilon. Yes, they've got double game weeks. People are bringing them in. You know, they've got, Reguilon's got Liverpool and Man City in this double game week. And Brentford have got shit fixtures overall. Why, oh why would you use a transfer to bring him in? I don't get it. Honestly, don't get it, peeps. I wouldn't do it myself. You know, maybe they know better than me. I don't know. But I wouldn't do it personally. Doherty, at least he's got another double game week in game week 28. And it looks a lot better than this game week. But if I had him this game week, would I even start him? You know, would you play Doherty over his Stupinian or Gabriel or Saliba? I don't think I would. You know, Van Dijk's obviously good. You know, people will be taking out Trent and getting Van Dijk. I can see that. If you can make it work with 26, then, you know, it's a good transfer probably, isn't it? Jota good, Salah good if he plays. I mean, he's obviously coming in, but no one knows yet. So it's obviously premature to bring him in now. Hang on, this is just based on saved drafts. So this website here collects the drafts like what I did just now and collects the information and uses it to come up with this. So a lot of people are looking at getting Salah in. They obviously haven't done it yet. I'd suspect they haven't done it yet. It'd be a bit silly to do it now, wouldn't it? Before you actually know. De Bruyne, fair enough. Darwin, fair enough. Haaland, fair enough. Now, Tony, honestly, I'd rather get Højlund, I think. Højlund's only got one fixture this week. He's playing Luton and he's playing Fulham next week. I'd rather have him, I think, than Ivan Toney. I know Tony's got 2 fixtures, but to me, I wouldn't have him, you know. I mean, people are selling their bloody grannies, aren't they, to get hold of double game week players this week, you know. Some salesman knocked on their door and offered them Ivan Toney. I said, look, I'll take your granny off your hands and you can have Ivan Toney. They'd snap it up, wouldn't they? They'd get Tony in. He'd be sat there drinking your tenant soup there, looking at the sporting websites, trying to make a bet. And your granny'd be sold off into slavery somewhere, you know, never to be seen again. And you'd be stuck with this little prick, Tony. Now, you don't want that, peeps, you know. You don't want him in your team. He's got awful fixtures. Why would you get him? You know, I know he's got a double, but so what, you know. Diaz, good pick, I think. If Salah is back, it's more likely to be Jota that gets a rest than Diaz. So Diaz looks good, you know. If I was going, maybe I should get, actually, maybe I should be getting Diaz instead of Jota. Something to ponder there, peeps, something to ponder. Right, Walker, never liked him. Couldn't understand it a few weeks ago when everybody suddenly started getting Walker in. I don't know if it was some content creator started the ball rolling or what, but suddenly all these teams had Walker in. He's never been an FPL asset. Never. His attacking returns are basically non-existent. And Ake, on the other hand, with Guardiola injured, looks a blooming good pick. You know, I'd much rather have Ake than Walker. You know, if I didn't already have 3 City players, I would be doing Trent to Ake. You know, it'd be easy. A lovely transfer. I'd do that, you know. But sadly, I don't. I've already got 3 Man City. Incidentally, Alvarez could be a big winner out of tonight because he didn't play. It means he's rested. Silva's injured now, so there's more chance at least that Alvarez is going to be playing during this double. I was worried that Alvarez wasn't even going to be playing, but it looks like he probably will. So Vera, I think, yeah, I can see that a lot of people, I think, are overdoing this double game week. So we'll have a look here with current transfers. Again, this is based on the drafts and not actual real life transfers, but people taking out Solanke, getting Darwin in. Solanke's got a double game week in 28. Very short term to get Darwin in. Palmer to Jota. Again, I mean, I'm not taking out Palmer I can understand why people are, because Chelsea have got a few weeks where their fixtures aren't great. But Palmer is so good and he's so cheap that you don't actually get such a huge amount of money when you do sell him. You're giving up a lot, aren't you? I mean, he's kind of like our fifth midfielder now, like our spare eighth attacker. I mean, I think he costs, I don't know what he cost me, but it's very, very cheap. And people selling him now are losing their stored value. They're going to want him back, so they're going to have to pay more to get him back. And he's not actually freeing up much cash for them, really, is he? So I'd be very reluctant to get rid of Palmer. I'm much happier getting rid of Richarlison, even though he could well get points this week. But Son's back, and at least he frees up a decent amount of money. Watkins, Tony, again, very short term. You're taking out an asset that's better than the one you're bringing in. Villa have got good fixtures. Tony's got garbage fixtures. Solanke, Tony, same again. I mean, Solanke's got that double. Watkins to Darwin, same again. So that's what people are looking at. Whether they actually do it, I don't know. But double game weeks do. I mean, I can understand it, because everybody likes to win, don't they? And I can see that I'm going to get a red arrow this week because I haven't gone overboard on this double game week. And I'm hoping to make it back in game week 26. But a lot of people, they want it now, so they're gonna go all out to get a good score this week, even if it stuffs them up the following week. I can understand that desire. No one wants a bad week, do they? But I mean, you've only got so many free transfers. I mean, you can take hits or whatever, but whether it balances out in the end or not, don't know. Perhaps they will, perhaps they won't. But taking out people like Solanke to get Darwin, it's probably going to cost you another transfer to get him back in. Will the points make up for it? They could do. I mean, you don't even know Darwin's going to play both games, really, do we? I mean, they've got the cup final coming up. Right, so funny thing is that this thing here, like the drafts, people have gone all the way out to game week 31, like making changes in their teams all the way up to game week 31. Well, I couldn't be bothered going that far, peeps, for a simple reason. You saw with Trent, it just takes one injury and all your plans go out the bloody window. So planning to game week 31 is nice in theory, nice to have a tinker. But you can guarantee that the team you end up in game week 31 will probably look nothing like the team that you're tinkering at the moment. So that's about it really, peeps, I think. We've got through it this time, haven't I? I did one before. I ended up insulting someone. And I thought, no, I can't put that in. I can't call someone that. That's just wrong. Just wrong. I've had enough Twitter ructions to for a lifetime. So I'm being nice to people now. And, but this leaking business, honestly, it's changed the game. The game is now nothing like it used to be. And you've either just got to accept it. Like people are telling me, if you don't like it, leave. That's what I'm being told by people on Twitter. The ones who think they're really good because they can stay up and get a leak. Well, that doesn't make you good, does it? It just means it just makes you less of a life type of person. But if that's what it takes to win FPL, people are going to do that. And they can call it skill. They can call it whatever they want. But to me, it's just a fucking shit show. And the sooner FPL move the deadline to the start of the matches, the better, because then everybody at least can get their information from a proper site and don't have to resort to these backstreet dealers to get their fix, So sort it out, FPL, because nobody likes this shit really, except the people that are benefiting from it at the expense of everyone else. And if that's the only way they can do well at FPL, then, that's it. If that's what it takes for them to get their ego boosted, then fair enough for them, But they're not getting it because they're better at the game than anyone else. They're just getting it because they're better at finding all the people that give out these awful leaks all the time. Anyway, peeps, I'm off now. On that happy note, I'm going to disappear. At least I got through it. My blooming laptop hasn't run out of power yet. And by the way, I've joined this site. I paid for this site today. I said to him when I was on holiday, I said, when I get back from my holiday, I'm going to pay to join your site because I really like it. And it cost me a tenner for a whole year. I never recommend stuff normally that costs money. But a tool like this, I really like it, and you can tinker for hours on it. And it's not like paying someone to give you information, someone who's telling you one thing and secretly in a WhatsApp group doing something completely different because they've got insider information, or people telling you what to do who aren't actually any better players than what you are. All they're good at is designing some flashy looking website to try and make money off you, and rather than for the love of the game. Whereas this tool here is actually really useful, really useful. I'm really looking forward to next season and using it, and hopefully we'll have a deadline at the right time, right up to game time, and everything will be a lot better, because at the moment the playing field is so unlevel. But it's just a joke, You've got a situation where a lot of people don't even know that other people are getting all these leaks. People who are playing in New Zealand, people that take the game seriously, but don't get up in the middle of the night or don't go on Twitter. I mean, even that Borges character who's #1 in the world, he doesn't use Twitter. I mean, he's on other areas of the internet, so he's probably getting the leaks or whatever. But a lot of people don't, and they don't even know that this is going on. And it's very unlevel playing field. So the best thing FPL can do is make some statement about it, say this is happening, so we're going to move the deadline to the start of the games to make it fair for everybody. Anyway, peeps, I'm off now because I've had enough, and I'll talk to you all later anyway. So we'll see what happens on Saturday night, but I can assure you one thing, peeps, it's going to be chaos. So I'll see you then. I'll be back to report on it next week. So like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you all later. So cheers for now then.